Alright guys, we are going to have a breakdown of I Pet Goat 2 in extreme slow motion, 50% speed. This is a great video, has a shit ton of information in it. The guy spent years making it, but it's just a few friends of his. He is a Canadian gay dude, so some of that bleeds through in some of the symbolism, believe it or not. But this is my attempt to break it down. I think it'll probably be one of the best breakdowns of this video on the internet. So enjoy. Alright, barcode on the goat's head, pretty self-explanatory. Bell. Alright, so here the goat's eyes start spinning around in a hypnotic fashion, as well as his head, giving the appearance that he is hypnotized, but I think what is really trying to come across here is the fact that you are hypnotized. Of course, there's the obvious FEMA concentration camp symbolism. You'd have to be kind of blind not to see that with the barbed wire and the man with the hat with the dog that says wolf. I do not know. WOOF. I've thought about this for a while. His finger looks like it's pointing in that direction too. This could be a tracking dog. This could be it's a guy walking a dog, but he has a hat on. I mean, you got me as far as that's concerned. I think it's kind of a statement as far as who's leading who's walking who. Looks like he's getting pulled by the dog. The tail chasing the dog type situation. But who knows? The barcode, the box, the barbed wire, the lighting, the snow. It's pretty obvious that this is a concentration camp, though. Right in the center of the forehead over the third eye. We are all goats and sheep, kids. Now, the reason this is called I Pet Goat is because Pet Goat is the name of the short story that George W. Bush was reading during 9/11. Turn up the brightness. Alright, money sign on one finger. I haven't been able to tell what this ring is yet. On this side. Possibly a beetle? Scarab? It's obviously demonic hands, though. Looks like the same coloration as the Saturn man you'll see later in the television. So probably him pulling the strings, since that's media. But whoever it is pulling the strings of who we consider to be the most powerful person in the world, the president. So obviously the president isn't as powerful as we think he is. Wearing a dunce cap, cone on his head. D. Doesn't actually say dunce, does it? Alright. D. If we just go with the traditional dunce cap idea. It's pretty obvious he's an idiot. A stooge. But the cone on his head is representative of what they call a bin on top of a pillar. Actually holds great knowledge, believe it or not. It's a gold cone put on top of ancient pillars. There's one in Heliopolis on top of an obelisk. It's kind of like a capstone, but it actually holds a lot of information. Typically, things like copper scrolls or stone tablets are held inside or underneath the bin bin. Bin bin kind of shields it from the sun so it doesn't get destroyed in the elements, sun and rain. All right, pay attention to evolution back here. It's supposed to be evolution for the watcher, but this is a game of hangman that's being played. If an O was picked, there'd be another O right here, right? Tion. So this word is not evolution. It is something else. So if you can come up with that, I'll be very happy. Checkerboard floor, obviously Masonic. The teacher is representative of the teacher that was reading I Pet Goat. Notice the letters in the background are actually backwards. The capital is the second letter, not the first. Meaning the little comes before the big. And so help me God, it looks like, I guess not. I guess they're all just letters. We see a dragon right here. We see a brain being split in half, right and left hemisphere. We see the shark, which represents the fin above the water, the beast underneath the water, meaning someone hiding in plain sight, but also like I'm more dangerous whenever you get me alone type situation. Two different personalities, split-sided. Also a balancer, someone between the tree of knowledge and good and evil and the tree of life and the waters that separate the trees. So someone who knows both sides, is capable of evil. The hearts, of course, the heart means the bottom side of the symbol, the trident and anchor, the umbrella and pitchfork, the fork and spoon, the heart and flames. All these symbols come from this symbol, Racha. Which is Jupiter and Saturn combined and reflected across their axis, which would be the cross. This symbol is fucking everywhere. Anyone who knows anything about anything understands what this symbol means. This is the below, this is the above, this is the hangman path, this is the top of the pyramid, this is the valley, etc., etc., etc. But the heart represents the bottom part, so it means kind of like the evil, the bad side, the dark side. I have another heart right here. It's pretty obvious the juxtaposition that these symbolic hearts do not represent an actual physical heart. You'll see a tap board right here that has tax in certain states. Pretty interesting if you evaluate that closer. The hanged man, of course, is representative of, the bottom, the bad. Just like the checkerboard is symbolic of a crystalline formation, also a symbolism of duality. I think duality is what we have going on here because we have this split hemisphere. We have the shark, which is a symbol of duality. We have the capital juxtaposition next to the lowercase, lower before higher. You have the delicate snowflakes over here on this side. And you have an owl up here. Owl is typically the top of the pyramid. The all-seeing eye, Marduk, Bohemian Grove, etc. But the hanged man is important. Very important. Let's keep going. A burning building. Everything's burning down. Obviously representative of 9/11, considering the circumstance. Burning building, shark, hangman, dick with comb. So we have New England state. We have either Louisiana or Mississippi right here, Oklahoma, Gulf of Mexico, Florida. Right there, it's hard to see that one. Those all have tax in them. And that's Florida's only tax a different color, I believe. But I am colorblind. I got my colorblind glasses though, so I don't know. New England might be a different color. I'm not certain. It's almost like like the Stargate symbol for Earth. It's been erased. Fooled me once. Shame on you. All but one leg. The evolution of man up there and turning into an enlightened being after a wall is important. The wall will be a disaster. And also the fact that the evolved man with the enlightened ring around his head is facing you as opposed to walking means the evolutionary chain is complete. F equals negative F. I wish I knew what the fuck that meant. The corpus callosum that unites hemispheres of the brain, the hippocampus area, the what's that called? The frenal map, the nerve endings that go straight in the middle of the brain. Uniting left and right brain is very important to everybody and to the Egyptians, to these people. All right, you have him as the graduate. Maybe because he's a little wiser. Of course, the mortarboard, symbolic of Masons, but also since it's a black square or black cube on your head, very symbolic of Saturn as well. But they're all fucking wolves in sheep clothing, sharks right below the surface. His cheek looks a lot like a crescent with a star. But Obama was no different than Bush, no matter how much. LOL. Alright, here we have my girl Alice, represented in iPet Goat 2. Isn't that fancy? She has the fruit of knowledge of good and evil. She has all these people behind her which are faceless and connected together, most of them in some respect. This is represented. No one's really unique. No one is. Oh, come on. Where are my cigarettes at? Jimmy Christmas. Representing that everyone's kind of united together. No one's an individual. You have the lotus right there, which is, of course, a symbol of enlightenment. Yellow for willpower. The maze pattern in the background is important. Because basically everyone's trapped in a fucking maze trying to find their way out. Same barbed wire you saw around the goat is around these kids because they are literally in prison. See one covered in bandages, one with crayon all over his face. She holds the fruit of enlightenment, fruit given to us by Lucifer, the enlightener, the one that gave us knowledge. These people believe, and I do too to some extent, that Jehovah created automatons and whoever the wise serpent was granted us the ability to know more. I'm glad I know more. You see a stag in the background. The white rabbit, of course, is tied to Alice, going down the rabbit hole, trying to figure out all this nonsense. She's Aryan, which is ironic, or odd, at least. She has a circle around her. Typically, circles are used for protection and magic, to shield you from influence from a spirit. I wish I knew what fucking color that was, since I'm so fucking colorblind, but to me it looks orange. But it very well could not be. Anything else important in this one? Heart flowers. The stag represents primal creation. The creative essence, the creative force, before even Mother Nature, the primal chaos that spurs on creation. I don't know why the stag is symbolic of that, but he is, trust me. She's obviously the only one alive in this classroom, the only one capable of being awake. Exit sign in the background, past the door. It starts to illuminate, showing that she knows the way out, which is down the rabbit hole. She's disenchanted with her surroundings, realizes she has more knowledge inside of her than school can give her, and disheartened, drops the apple of enlightenment, rolls across the floor, and it forms C7. You got me on that one, fuck. C7. I thought it was an O for the longest time. I thought it was 007, which is tubal cane. 007 is tubal cane, 2 balls and a cane. Literally, the male genitalia goes way back. Masons shake hands with a tubal cane handshake. It's son of Abel that Cain ended up praising. But that's not the case here. It's C7. Or possibly G7, which would be the 7 nuclear-powered governments, the most important ones. Alright, you have the worm inside of the apple of enlightenment, coming out of the seeds. They form... Oh, notice down here, it's a gold crown coin, which represents, the crown of the British monarchy, obviously. Staying on top of our finances also is insignificant to them. Notice how it's still a toed shoe, though. It's for ass kicking. The worms weave together like DNA, form a lotus, enlightenment. Enlightenment because it goes down below the water and it rises up every morning above the water and opens up again to the sun. So it is non-dual. It is balanced. It is perfect. That's a symbol for pre-war Japan in it too. Flag of the rising sun. He sees the enlightenment and is scared by it. I'm pretty sure it said Oz. That's Psalm 23. If you know it, you know it. If you don't, look it up. Clock is at midnight, which is when war starts. Flag splits in half. Everything's in the water and frozen. Very reminiscent of Antarctica. These are obviously two towers, the Twin Towers, 9/11. But it has the form of a body too. This is a buttocks, thighs. You see this character later. Swan diving. It might represent the jumpers at 9/11, but this is very, very cryptic, dude. Very cryptic. Anubis at the front of the boat. The black dog runs out ahead of the master to let everyone know that the master is coming. And this is from Jewish weddings. Near the boatman, the river Styx. Right here. On an iceberg. We have Al Qaeda. The person obviously knows what the fuck they're talking about, though, because of the CIA badge on him. And there's a flame symbol on his beard representing he speaks the truth of fire coming out of his mouth. Sharp two-edged sword. Oil dripping into the water. Or is it black goo? It's hard to fucking know. It is reminiscent of Antarctica, so it very well could be black goo. Pay attention to all these shapes of the islands. If y'all see something I don't see, let me know. Obviously, Statue of Liberty. Flame comes off. Famous Liberty. The Orphic egg. Orphic egg represents, the enlightened being, a shell's breadth away from exploding into the world. You see this at the end of 2001: Space Odyssey. It's very much like a womb where the enlightened being is gestating. It's being held up by a pillar, just like the pillar in the egg that I've talked about in previous videos for my Gobekli Tepe spill. You have a stone hand grasping at it like it's losing its grip, and the black snake wrapped around it, which is very much a tentacle of this Saturn creature. This is the television behind it. I mean, it's, trying to steal the enlightened man, trying to rob it from us. Black tentacles are not always used for good, my friends. Media uses it too. Anubis, with his was head, was the dog. It's actually known as a was back in ancient Egypt. Some of their staffs is how they believe they can communicate with each other over long distances by putting the two roots into the ground and concentrate on the split in half ankh. Alright, there's if you guys noticed, there was a pyramid eye on this guy's chin, but it's upside down because he's the bottom half of the Asbo. So below the valley, he has one ring in his ear, which represents being gay, but also represents Saturn. All Saturn worshippers typically have one ear pierced, and it's typically their left ear, with a ring, specifically a gold ring. The gold ring is the gold ring of enlightenment, the gold ring of reincarnation. On the Christ type figure we saw before that, he had the eye in the middle of his forehead representing his third eye, but above that he has a pyramid. It's very interesting too. I'll just show you more about that later. This thing is obviously a carnivore, carnivorous, and it has very reptilian skin, which leads me to believe that this is a reptilian, pedophile baby eater cult that's running our media. He has a beard, so possibly Masonic. All Masons over 30 or higher have to have beards. He has a yellow shirt on, but more pungently, he has a Coptic Christian robe on with a golden trim, a single piece robe, and you see heroin needles and medication beside him. I can relate as far as medication goes. At least I used to be able to relate. He feels so trapped, he's trying to escape. But the media is inside of his head, literally inside of his head, controlling him, making him think whatever it wants him to think. He has yellow dripping down the front of his robe, though. This yellow is the solar plexus chakra, willpower. The blue and the yellow combine together to make green, which is the heart chakra. This is like the willpower to get out, the striving towards knowing, fighting against the current. The yellow pillar, the 13th pillar. One eye open, and it's the left eye. Notice that, which means Jewish, not Gentile. The other eye was completely black. Margaret's plunge, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, putting thoughts in your head. The edge shaped like a Masonic compass and edge-shaped aircraft. Bombing a Muslim temple, a mosque. So the birds flying out. Birds are typically seen as the top of the rung of the top of the pyramid, the ringers of knowledge, angelic, but they're black, so they could be crows or ravens. And what the fuck? Hold on a second. You can tell it's a mosque because of the crescent moon right there. And the crescent moon rises out of the top and glows. The black, they could be crows or ravens, which are a little bit different than birds. A moth, which represents flying towards a flame, which is enlightenment. Alright, you had that little being that we saw earlier jumping off to his death or whatever. He just was at the top of the pillar and danced his way back, or her way back, rather. This is an important scene. Here we go. Alright, this thing in the background could be a volcano, or it could be in something in the sky above a mountain, radiating energy. This could be the sun. I personally believe it is Saturn exploding, erupting, igniting into a sun. Her tears because her son is dead. This is very much, the grieving Mother Mary, but the ring around her head is also symbolic of Saturn. The bloody cloth, the bandages. This is supposed to be someone who died in war, a child that died in war, more than likely Islamic. See the snow piled up around him, how it's kind of like three-dimensional rising up off the ground. So they're in a cave somewhere, escaping the weather. Such an odd posture for her to be in. The potion she's holding, man, I could not tell you. I've thought about it a lot, though. It could be water. It could be a healing potion, a potion of resurrection. Could be poison. Could be something she's about to take to kill herself. Got black coming off her eyes instead of tears. It's really, really, really hard to say. Could be a volcano looking in the background though. Yellowstone symbolism. Maybe that potion is Cassini itself. Scare beetle, of course, we know about the dung beetle rolling the fucking dung around, making it look like the sun of Osiris. He even has a pyramid on his back. His right eye was fucked up. Another biomechanized Islamic kid. AK-47. See the skull and bones for his handler. The kid is so used to war that he became a weapon of war himself. The heart bandage is pretty telling too. The bottom of the pyramid again. The valley. Very bionic. See the lotus going down, the green Jew, a Mexican with the communist hammer and sickle, representing labor, being pulled under by green, which I think is currency. See the yin yang symbol right here. It's actually not a yin yang because we have the other dot, which should be right there, but it's not. It's missing, so there's not balance. A person with a huge white flag and all these tanks with open maws to chomp down on them. Inside something that looks very much like a rib cage. Funny enough. I surrender. But you get the feeling they're also protesters, very much like Tiananmen Square. Yeah, but especially with the tiger on her back. Tiger is the other side of the yin yang. The dragon and the tiger is the top of the pyramid, meaning that this person is willing to fight. They're tough. They are representative of Leo. Also represents the fighter, the person who can overcome great odds. Tiger versus dragon isn't really something a fair fight, doesn't. The skeleton is about to make her turn around. See the nuclear sign etched out on her face. Now let's just watch this again. Well, the markets are making him drown. Lack of balance. Fades away. Something moving in the heavens. Shadows. Big bright gemstone on his finger. Heart and a exalt nuclear sign. And then you see the fireworks and the kazoo with the top hat, Masonic top hat. The kazoo is a pizza party. Fireworks are pizza. Fireworks are how the elite dispose of bodies and offer them up to the beings that dwell in the sky, Lord to those that flit from place to place, Beelzebub. They actually make certain companies make fireworks using the ashes of the deceased children that have been raped and murdered to offer their spirits up to the gods of the sky. Pottery for the earth, fireworks for the sky, pizza for themselves to eat, to consume that energy. Yeah, that's why in Land of the Dead they're used as sky flowers to distract the zombies. But this person is obviously someone who's letting this person know that it's completely worthless to struggle. You shouldn't worry about surrendering because we're going to eat you. You can see how helpless this individual looks right now. I'm giving up the fight. And the enlightened man, possibly Christ, glowing with his own energy, his biophotons. Barbed wire around his head representing the prison of your mind, but they trap you in. The back of his belt has a lotus blossom on it. Very much like River Styx. You see the Sacred Heart or the heart within the heart. No one, I don't think anyone online has said this yet. That is actually not just a heart. That is the heart within a heart, which is international symbol for pedophilia. No one said that. Why does this guy have international symbol for pedophilia on his chest? It obviously is. Obviously. Maybe he feels for the children. Maybe it's supposed to represent a Sacred Heart. But that's what the solar plexus is. Struggling against media. I have reptilian eyes. Wonder why. Because you live underground and eat children. Gold tooth. Multiple dimensions are being crashed through, also television screens. And the enlightened man is waking up, blowing fire out of his mouth, which represents such words. Lightens up the Orphic egg hanging from the stalagmite, whichever one is hanging from the ceiling. Very much like a pillar in the egg, where you have enlightenment. But actually, if you look at this scene closer, this is a uvula in the back of your throat. This is the throat chakra that is being awakened from speaking the truth, the fire coming out of his mouth. This whole thing represents basically the mouth in the next scene. Keep watching, it gets important. See, obviously, the back of the mouth. The uvula over his head. The electricity coming off, energetic words. These are two glowing spots line up also with the tonsils in the back of your throat glands for removing toxins. Alright, here we go, my little collie. Raccoons in the... She has raccoon tails on her legs. This is the suppressed collie because she's not black, so she has yet to actually come out and start her Kali Yuga, her cleansing, where she just goes apeshit and kills everybody. And the end of the days, she's the bride of Shiva, but until she turns black, she's not really let loose. Whenever she's let loose, she dances on her husband's corpse and goes completely nuts, killing everything she sees. Her eyes are actually splitting in half right here. I think probably it's the way I have it paused. Pyramid 9 up top. But also, you have the valley represented by that teardrop shape right there in the middle of her forehead. Red ruby. Means she's a priest or married, which married in this case. And she's also Mother Goddess, so having a dot doesn't seem out of her wheelhouse. Fire in the side. This is representative of the skull, I believe, this cage that she's locked in, the human consciousness, okay? The fish jump into the boat, the zebrafish, the dualistic fish. Striped, black, and whatever color that is. White, yellow. Yep, definitely the pedophile heart. Maybe because all the kids that died. Alright. This shit is crazy. This is a leg. This is a leg propped up with a foot here. This is a penis. Person's laying down with an erection. How clearly is that a cock, right? Penis head. You have a cross on top, which is symbol for Heliopolis. Cross on top of an obelisk. It's also the symbol that's in the center of the Vatican. You see a heart by the window, which is glowing. And there's bars on the window, which represents the person's, imprisoned and has been for a long time. I think that the person who's imprisoned is love. because people will have sex for lust and not love. This person is not just a female though. She has male and female attributes. Pay close attention. Has one. No, actually, I think that it is completely female. Someone pointed it out to me. I haven't actually watched it since they pointed it out. The other shoe she's wearing is a shoe that allows one leg, which is a lot shorter than the other leg, to be for them to be able to walk normally, sort of normally, I guess. So it has like a 3-inch heel on it, so that they can actually walk. So this person is deformed, actually, out of balance, black-eyed though, and bloody crotch. Could be period. Her eyes actually become normal right there whenever the light passes through. They're showing on. That's very reminiscent of DNA, you know. Mandala up top, light shining through. Maybe this is DNA awakening. The whole crystal cave of the body, this iceberg cave is shattering. And Callie's doing her dance of death as she starts glowing. The corporate elite. This vapor don't really exist. Completely fake beings. Destroyed by the awakened one with a yawn. That to me is extremely powerful. Of course, assuming everything represents what I think it represents. I used to think pizza tasted really good. Yeah, that is totally the pedophile symbol. And the snake of the television media, the contrived media gets forced off. The top of his head's right there. Look for his brain. He has realized that he is free. The second death. It's weird how he has blue eyes and has like blonde hair and blue eyes. Oh, good earnings. Conducting media. The enlightened Arab boy that we saw on his mother earlier. With volcano silencing. Twirling like a dervish by the moon. The moon is very important in Islam. Actually forms the top of the mosque. Man, this scene right here has driven me nuts. I don't know what. It looks almost like the Eye of Horus if you look above. The 4 waves, the 4 paths. So, Indonesian god of the waves, or the ocean. The bear, which could be Russia, or it could be a bear god, some kind of American god I'm not aware of. I don't know. The black bird, Crow the raven, messenger, mimicker, nuisance. Either way, the skull or the consciousness is falling apart right here. Raccoon tails represent God, or the striped tails, just like a ring-tailed lemur. See the demon right there? I believe that was a clitoris, to be quite honest with you. And I believe that this right here, the water coming out, is the birth. This is, the whole Revelations 12 birth of the new Messiah into the world from the realm of subconscious. Lotus is popping up because it's morning time. The dawn has arrived. Breathing in that prana. Now you see something interesting right here in the background. See, this is Rosalind Chapel, home of the Rosicrucians. Pyramid Eye right here too, by the way. But if you pay close attention, behind it right here, it's actually the ear canal. So this is like the destruction of like church interfering, like being the voice inside of your head, and it falling apart, all the coded symbolism language. Notice a pyramid radiating down above the eye. This person is aware of the dual nature, the valley, obviously, because the eye is at the bottom. But the pyramid has a little tiny cut out of it, which is like a doorway, because Osiris actually emerged from the bottom of the pyramid, not the top of the pyramid or the below underground. He came out from like right at ground level, which means in balance, level between two worlds, non-dualistic. And he has the same little fire thing on his beard that Osama bin Laden had, oddly enough. Isn't that obviously an ear? Alright, check this part out. I think I'm the only person on YouTube to notice this as well. See, some of these structures are very, like, man-made. Like, that's a very fucking straight, fucking angular line, right? Well, look at this one. This is a pillar in the background. You guys know what I've said about the pillars. How it has something on top of it. The bin, the Orphic egg, on top of the pyramid that preserves information after an apocalypse for the next civilization to come find, so they can rebuild civilization without having to start from the ground up. A flash drive from ancient times that allows you to restart language and civilization. There's a perfect little egg-shaped thing up there. Is that not a perfect little egg-shaped thing? This is obviously a man-made structure right here, with an egg on it. Tell me it's not. You gotta think this is going at half speed too, so a lot of this stuff is just so subconscious. You barely notice it. But that little Orphic egg sure is highlighted in the back of the clouds. Alright, you have these things that look like comets or asteroids coming, and something looks like a sun exploding. I believe this is once again Saturn igniting and blowing off the debris of its rings. It destroys the 3 pyramids from Orion. They all crumble to the ground. I have really shitty internet connection, apparently. I've already blown past my allotted gigabytes for this month. But, yeah. I'm not sure exactly what to make of this in the background. This, to me, looks a lot like an eagle. But probably it's just clouds. Who knows? Things sure do have very odd shapes. Who knows? But the pyramid's getting torn down. That could represent just a complete devastation of civilization, a rewriting of ancient history, numerous things. Boats just kind of stood still, and his ankles or everything, they're on fire right now. It's like the roots of civilization. Who's to say? But I'm pretty sure that's Saturn exploding. If I had to guess on it. Let's see. I'm pretty sure that's close to the fucking end of the video, though. What the hell's in the last 2 minutes? Come on, you piece of poop. Go. It doesn't require that many G's. G. Man, I hate going to fucking stores like this. I just went in there to get donuts. Look all fucking... Okay, yeah. It's just the people who worked on it. So, not a big deal. There is something at the very end, though. Like some... Oh. It's called Heliofont, the name of the company. Helio, people think means sun, but Helio actually means Saturn, believe it or not. So Heliofont, Heliofant, fan of Saturn, a worshiper of Saturn, and the little symbol is pretty obvious too. The way that the dot from the eye moves across. Very symbolic of hydrogen, symbolic of fusion, symbolic of Saturn igniting, I think. There we go. There's my little interpretation. Enjoy it and take for it what it is. The words of Crazy Man. But I imagine there's probably more information in that than most of these fucking stupid ass YouTube breakdowns. This means Satan, and Satan is bad. I don't like Satan, and I know this is the devil because that's not what my Jesus looks like. But, man, the whole fucking heart within a heart thing, the pedophile thing, it's not the Sacred Heart. It could be. It was on fire, but maybe it's their little tiny Sacred Hearts fueling the fire. Who's to say? I don't want... This video, I used to watch it, and the first, 10 times I watched it, I thought it was very empowering, very uplifting. It made me feel good that we could all achieve this Christhood. But I think, like most things, it probably makes you feel good, but really has secret undertones that are not very pure. Hiding a dick is pretty not pure, but it's symbolic. You gotta have dick somewhere. If you're not sucking one, you're taking one up the butt. That's what life is. Alright, guys, I appreciate it. Check out heliofont.com. And shout outs to Canadian Jerkoff, who has been taunting us for years. And fuck you, Alex Jones / Bill Hicks, for having the guy on the show, not asking him any real fucking questions for his breakdown. Yeah, you're an ass. And probably an insider. And maybe CIA or NSA. I haven't quite settled on that yet. Could just be an Andy Kaufman, but I'm pretty sure you're a bigger dick than that. So, once again, guys, thanks for watching the video. Have a great night, great day, whatever.